A very common defense I've seen of RFK Jr.'s recent comments is that we are only talking about the severe cases of autism. And I want to use this comment as an opportunity to talk about autism and this idea of it being a spectrum and a neurotype in order to hopefully help folks understand why the recent comments are so problematic. Hi, I'm Dr. Josh, licensed marriage and family therapist and neuroscientist with a specialty in neurodivergent individuals. Being one myself. Now, most importantly, when we say autism is a spectrum, what we mean is not that it is a line that goes from not severe to severe, but rather a multifaceted thing that has lots of different features that each individual might have in varying degrees. Which is why even things like the most recent revision of the DSM-5 removed the idea of severity from the description and replaced it with the concept of support needs. Because what we're really talking about are individuals that simply deviate neurologically in how they process the world from whatever the normal expectations might be, whatever that means, which is a complicated thing to answer too. And having these different ways of thinking and being in the world might be problematic when there are specific expectations. So for example, if you're in a wheelchair and there's only stairs around, then you are at a disadvantage. But if everything is level and there were no stairs, single floor world, this might not be a big issue anymore. Or as another example, none of us are considered disabled for not having wings because our society was set up for wingless humans. And so coming back to making blanket statements about how autism ruins lives, the issue is that really the systems often are what are ruining people's lives because they're not set up to adequately support and allow for these different ways of being in the world. Let me ask you this. Is a kid that gets overwhelmed and needs to ride their scooter around the block even late at night a problem? Well, they are if the neighbors complain. But if the system was set up to simply allow for that, it wouldn't be a big deal. But right now, that kid would be described as high support needs because they need a chaperone and somebody to bring them inside at night even when they want to go around the block. And so saying blanket things like it's ruining lives and we must eradicate those differences is a form of eugenics. It is a way of saying we want everyone to conform, and if they don't, we must eradicate those outliers. And that approach should deeply concern all of us.